Okay, guys, if you're watching this video, that means that we have spent quite a long bit of time this year on this concept. So I'm going to say a code word at some point in this video that you're going to need to write down in your corrections. That way I know that you've actually watched this whole video and you've listened to what I've said and you've written it down as I'm going through it. Okay, so we have an inequality. I'm going to draw my river here. And we always look to the side that has the variable and we ask ourselves, all right, we want the variable to be by itself, so what do we need to get rid of? Well, we need to get rid of this negative 2.4. What is happening right now? Well, there's no sign in between them, so we know that it is understood to be multiplication. So really what we've got going on right now is negative 2.4 times m. How do we get rid of times? We do the opposite. We divide. And whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other. Now, what are we going to divide by? If we divide by a positive 2.4, that's not going to get rid of it entirely. We'll still have a negative sign because a negative divided by a positive is a negative, and we don't want negative m. We want m just to be by itself. So we always divide by the whole entire number that we're trying to get rid of. So we are dividing both sides by negative 2.4. Okay, so these go away, which is the whole point. I'm left with just plain old m. Now, what happens when I multiply or divide both sides by a negative? Remember, negatives make everything the opposite. That's actually another word for this negative or minus sign is opposite. So we need to make the symbol the opposite. So instead of less than, it's now going to turn into greater than. Okay? Now we need to do the work. So we set up our division house. The first number makes it inside the house. The last number gets stuck outside. And if we ever have a decimal on the outside, we just need to bump it over to the end. So in this case, we needed to move it over one time. So we do the same thing inside. We move it over one time, and now my decimal is right here. And now I'm ready to go. All right, 24, does it go into 14? I could put a 0 there. I'm going to keep going until it works, all right? Does 24 go into 144? Well, yeah, of course it does. How many times? I don't know. Let's see. 24 times, we'll see, that's around 20. This is around 140. I'm going to try 7, okay? So 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 2 is 16, a little bit too big. So it's not going to be 7. Let's try 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 2. Oh, this is nice. Guess what? It works out exactly. It is 6/10. So when we multiply 6 times 24, we actually get 144, which means this is my answer. So I'm going to have 0.6, and then I ask myself, is it positive or is it negative? Well, my problem was a positive number divided by a negative number. Positive divided by negative is a negative. And so if I put this here, 0.6, and this is negative, that means my numbers are backwards on the left side of 0, so like instead of this being 0.7, it would be 0.5. And then this would maybe be 0.7, and so on. Okay, I'm going to have an open dot, and my arrow points in the exact same direction as my symbol. This is the end of my arrow. It points just like that, so it has to be the same. You see how they match? So I'm just going to connect these. Okay. So now at this point, we're just plugging in a number from the arrow. We don't want to pick the actual dot because guess what? This isn't a solution anyway. It has to be greater than negative 6/10. So what if we, let's say this would be negative 0.4. I'm going to put in 0 because it's going to eventually get to 0. And why do I do that? Because good gracious, multiplying by 0 is easy, right? Okay. This little arrow reminds us that what I'm doing on the right side is just bringing that bad boy down. So this is 1.44 over here. And now I actually do the work. So, oh, and here's my code word. My code word is bowling ball. All right. So when you're doing your corrections, I need to see that word bowling ball written on your paper in order for you to get full credit for watching this video. All right, so we keep going. Negative 2.4 times 0 is 0. And then I bring that thing on down again one more time, and I ask myself, is it true? Is 0 really less than 1.44? Well, yeah, because this one is positive and 0 is less than any positive number, so I know that I'm right. So don't forget to write that word that I just said on your correction sheet.